Mechanics charge $200 to remove rust like this. Today I'm doing it for $0 using electricity, water, and one simple trick that almost nobody uses anymore. I have a set of cast iron tools from the early 1920s sitting on my workbench right now, covered in 100 years of rust so thick you cannot tell what they originally were. I paid $2 for the entire set because the seller figured they were too far gone to save. By the end of this video, every single trace of rust will be completely gone. No chemicals, no sanding, no grinding. And the process costs less than 1 penny to run. Stay with me because what happens in that bucket in the next 30 minutes is something every person who owns anything made of metal needs to see at least once. Before we get into it, if you're the kind of person who actually wants to know what works instead of what gets sold to you, subscribe right now and hit the bell. That is exactly what this channel is built for. Every experiment runs properly, every result gets shown on camera, and nothing gets exaggerated to make a product look better than it is. Now let us get into this, because the setup for today has been running since early this morning, and the results are already visible in the bucket behind me. Before I show you what is happening in that bucket, I need to take you back about 200 years, because the story of how this process was discovered is one of those things that makes you realize how much useful knowledge gets buried under generations of commercial products and marketing budgets. In 1800, Alessandro Volta invented the first true battery and accidentally documented something that would change metalworking forever, that electrical current passing through salt water causes rust to move. Not dissolve like acid does, actually move, pulled completely off the metal surface by the current and deposited somewhere else entirely. The original steel underneath comes back intact. Within decades, European blacksmiths had already figured out how to use this principle to clean rusted iron tools using nothing but a simple battery and a bucket of salt water. That knowledge existed in workshops across Europe for over 150 years, before the automotive industry decided it was more profitable to sell you a spray can instead. Now let me tell you exactly what I am testing today and why I chose these particular pieces. When I bought those 100-year-old tools at the estate sale, the rust on them was not surface rust. It was not the kind of light orange coating you get on a tool you left in the rain for a weekend. This was deep, layered, structural rust that had been building for generations. Several of the pieces were locked together by rust completely. You could not move them at all. One piece had rust so thick on the surface that it had changed the shape of the metal, adding almost a 1/4 inch of oxidized material over what I estimate was the original steel profile. I brought these pieces to a local restoration shop before starting this experiment and asked for a professional assessment. The shop quoted me $190 to process the entire set using their professional electrolysis tank. The man behind the counter was perfectly pleasant and completely honest. He told me exactly what the process involved, how long it would take, and why their equipment was well suited for pieces this badly damaged. I thanked him, brought the tools home, and set up the same process in my garage for $4 in materials. Same science, same electrochemical principle, same result. The only difference is the equipment cost and the labor charge, and in a garage setting with a standard battery charger, those costs are effectively zero. Here's how the setup works, and I am going to keep this as simple as possible because the process itself is genuinely simple. Take a plastic container large enough to fully submerge whatever you are cleaning. Do not use a metal container because the container itself will interfere with the electrical process. Fill it with tap water and add 2 tablespoons of washing soda, sodium carbonate, not baking soda, per gallon of water and stir until fully dissolved. Washing soda is the electrolyte that allows the electrical current to move through the water efficiently. It costs about $3 for a box at any grocery store, and 1 box will last you dozens of sessions. Connect the negative terminal of a 12-volt battery charger, the black cable, to your rusted piece. This is the piece you are cleaning. Connect the positive terminal, the red cable, to a separate piece of plain carbon steel. A short section of rebar from a hardware store costs under $2 and works perfectly. This sacrificial piece is called the anode, and it will slowly deteriorate during the process as the rust deposits transfer to it from your cleaned piece. Submerge both pieces in the solution, making absolutely certain they do not touch each other at any point. Turn the charger on at its lowest amperage setting, and then watch what starts happening. I want to be honest with you. The first time I ran this process, I did not fully believe it was going to work the way everyone described. What happened in the first 15 minutes completely changed my mind. Keep watching because the visual change that starts in that bucket is something that is very difficult to describe accurately without seeing it. I want to describe what you see when this starts running because it is not what most people expect. You do not see rust falling off in chunks. You do not see the metal suddenly gleaming. What you see first is tiny bubbles forming on the surface of the rusted piece. Those bubbles are hydrogen gas being released as the current passes through the water and begins the electrochemical process at the metal surface. The water around the rusted piece slowly turns dark brown as rust particles detach from the surface and enter the solution. And then gradually, over the course of the next 20 to 60 minutes, depending on how severe the rust is, you begin to see areas of clean gray metal appearing through the orange coating. That is the moment that makes every person who sees this process for the first time stop and look twice. Because what you're seeing is not a chemical reaction converting rust into something else. You're seeing the rust being physically removed from the metal surface by electrical current and deposited on the sacrificial rod on the other side of the bucket. The metal being revealed underneath is the original steel surface, exactly as it was before the first molecule of iron oxide ever formed on it. In the case of my 100-year-old tools, that metal surface has not been exposed to air since sometime in the early 1920s. I ran the process on the full set of tools for a total of 45 minutes. I checked progress at the 15-minute mark, the 30-minute mark, and the 45-minute mark and photographed every piece at each interval so you can see exactly what was happening at each stage. But something happened at the 30-minute mark that I did not expect. And I have run this process enough times that I thought I knew exactly what to expect. When I pulled the 100-year-old pieces out of that bucket and held them under the light, I set the camera down and just stood there. I'm going to show you exactly what I found in a moment. But first, I need to tell you one thing about this process that the restoration industry actively hopes you never figure out. At 15 minutes, the surface rust on the flatter sections of the tools had already begun separating visibly. The water had turned a deep reddish brown and the bubbling on the metal surface was steady and consistent. At 30 minutes, the moment I just mentioned, large areas of clean metal were visible on every single piece, and something I did not anticipate had already started happening on the piece with the heaviest rust buildup. The quarter-inch thick rust layer that had changed the original profile of that tool was visibly thinning. Not from the outside in the way grinding or sanding would remove it, from the bottom up. The electrical current was pulling the rust layer away from the metal surface, starting at the interface between the rust and the steel, which meant the original metal profile was beginning to re-emerge from underneath a rust deposit that had been building for 100 years. I checked that piece 3 times in 5 minutes because I wanted to make sure I was reading it correctly. At 45 minutes, I turned off the charger and pulled everything out of the bucket for the final assessment. Now here's the part of this video that I debated including, because what I am about to tell you about the professional rust removal industry is something I confirmed directly, not something I read online. I went back to the shop that quoted me $200 and had a conversation with the owner. What he told me was more honest than I expected, and it changes how you should think about every rust removal service you have ever paid for. The owner explained that his professional setup uses precisely controlled amperage, purpose-built electrode configurations, and tanks designed to handle large components in multiple pieces simultaneously. For a full vehicle frame, a large collection of components, or work that requires very specific results on valuable pieces. His setup genuinely produces more consistent outcomes than a garage battery charger in a plastic bucket. He was right, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. What he also acknowledged, because I asked him directly, is that for household scale tasks, the electrochemistry itself does not change based on the equipment running it. A low voltage direct current in a sodium carbonate electrolyte removes rust from iron and steel. A $25 battery charger in a 5-gallon bucket accomplished that at the same fundamental level as a professional tank for any component that fits inside the container. The difference is throughput, precision at scale, and the ability to process very large pieces. For your tools, your cast iron pan, your car brackets, and your garden equipment, the garage version produces the same result. That is the honest answer, and it is one the service industry would prefer remained unclear. Every piece came out of the bucket with the rust either completely removed or reduced to a light gray residue that wiped off with a cloth in seconds. The pieces that had been locked together by rust separated in my hands with normal hand pressure. The chain that had been fused for nearly a decade came apart link by link, and the piece with the quarter-inch rust buildup, the one I thought was probably the most uncertain outcome going in, came out of the bucket showing the original machined surface underneath. You could see the tool marks in the metal. Marks made by the person who manufactured these tools in the early 1920s, preserved perfectly under 100 years of rust, visible again for the first time since those tools left the factory. I held that piece under the light for a long time. There is something genuinely difficult to articulate about holding metal that old and seeing its original surface again. The rust did not destroy what was underneath. It just hid it for a century. $4.45 brought it back. I expected the commercial rust inhibitor primer to win the prevention test. It costs $12 a can, and it is specifically marketed for exactly this purpose. What actually happened over those 2 weeks surprised me enough that I am turning it into its own full experiment. But I will give you the short version right now because you need this information before you treat your next piece of cleaned metal. After cleaning the tools with electrolysis, I tested 4 different methods for preventing rust from returning. because clean steel exposed to air and moisture will begin surface rusting again within hours if left unprotected. The 4 methods were boiled linseed oil, paste wax, the commercial rust inhibitor primer, and used motor oil. 2 weeks later, under identical garage conditions, the boiled linseed oil and the paste wax showed 0 rust formation on every treated surface. The commercial primer showed minor surface oxidation beginning at the edges. The used motor oil, which is one of the most commonly recommended rust prevention methods online, showed the most rust return of the 4. Boiled linseed oil cost under $5 for a bottle that will last years. Paste wax cost under $4. Both outperformed a $12 commercial product that is specifically sold for this purpose. That result is getting its own 6-month controlled test because the long-term prevention question deserves a proper answer. And I want to give you data instead of a 2-week snapshot. So let me bring everything together in a way that is actually useful to you as someone who owns metal things and would prefer they not rust. Electrolytic rust removal is free to run, requires equipment most people already own or can purchase for under $30, works on any iron or steel component that fits in a container, produces results equal to professional treatment on household scale tasks, and leaves the original metal surface completely intact in a way that acid treatments sometimes cannot match on heavily damaged pieces. The materials cost under $4 per session, and the setup takes approximately 10 minutes to assemble. A mechanic charges between $150 and $200 for this service because they have real equipment costs, real labor costs, and real facility overhead to cover. Professional service is worth the money for large or complex components. But for the tools in your garage, the cast iron pan that came back from a camping trip with rust on it, the car bracket you pulled off your truck, or a 100-year-old set of estate sale tools that someone paid $2 for because they looked too far gone, the garage version of this process handles every one of those situations for the cost of 2 tablespoons of washing soda and 45 minutes of your time. I want to hear from you on this one. Drop a comment below and tell me what rusted piece you're going to try this on first. Cast iron cookware, old tools, car parts, something you found and almost threw away. Tell me what it is and tell me how it goes. I read every single comment on this channel, and your results and questions directly shape what gets tested next. And if you know someone who has rusted metal sitting in their garage that they have been told is too far gone to save, share this video with them right now. One share from you might save someone a $200 shop bill or a trip to replace something that $4 and a battery charger could have fully restored. Subscribe if you have not already, because next week I'm testing something that involves 2 dissimilar metals, wet soil, and a question about free electricity that has not been properly answered on camera since before the Second World War. The result is either going to be genuinely impressive or a very educational failure, and either way, it is absolutely worth watching.